What is up, you guys? This is Mini Superheroes Today.
Hey guys, Jonathan here, and it's been a minute since I've given you an update of my Lego room. Now, this is where I keep my prime collectibles in the basement here. Of course, I've got a lot of stuff upstairs too in the main office that you've seen, but today, what I really want to focus on is this right here, my Lego City. Now, I'm coming up on 70,000 subscribers, and I think that for that video, it's going to be time to do another full collection tour because I've gotten so much stuff and so much cool stuff that you guys haven't seen since then. And basically, I thought today would be fun to show you the city because I get a lot of requests. Jonathan, what's your Lego City like? What's your Lego City looking like these days? So today, we're just going to talk about the city, but if you want to see these other really cool collectibles, stay tuned because I'm coming up on 70,000 subscribers and that's going to be its own video. But for now, let's check out my Lego City. Alright, so my Lego City, it's pretty massive. It's built up on these folding tables, which in retrospect wasn't the best idea ever because just, 10,000 foot overview, you've got these gaps over here and now this part of the city doesn't perfectly line up with that part, so there's a big gap. But the nice thing is it does make things very easy to move around. Now, as far as the structure of my city, the biggest thing that I wanted was to be able to access the buildings. So you can see where I'm standing here. I can get right up against the table and still reach the buildings in the city. Now, of course, if I wanted to add extra tables, I'd have even more space for more buildings, but that would come at the cost of being able to actually, get to the things in the city, which is my number one prerogative. My next prerogative is making sure that all of the functionalities of the building are still accessible. So by that, I mean, with the Sanctum, I can still get inside and I can still see everything in there. Or with the Ghostbusters, for example, that I can still open the side and get inside there, which means the Ghostbusters building has to be in a place that there's empty street next to it. Well, that opens up its own challenges because the Ghostbuster building is the same width as all modulars, but it's not, it's a different length. So I had to build up and around it where there's kind of like a little side street in there. See where there's a one-lane street behind the Ghostbusters Firehouse? So that was kind of interesting. So structurally, those were some of the bigger issues, if you will, with the city, is getting all of that stuff figured out. Once I was able to figure out that, okay, I need to be able to reach the buildings and have everything be accessible, everything else from there kind of became more fun. So as you can see, it's still a bit of a work in progress, and somehow my Star Wars figures ended up in the ocean there. We'll put those here. But we've got a little beach scene going on over here. I was able to put the gift with purchase boat, kind of cruising along. We've got some dolphins jumping out of the water, and we've got several people enjoying the beach scene. Now, one of my big projects coming up here is I'm going to move the ice cream truck out. I think I'm going to move it to the park, which we'll see here in a little bit. But I built the Beach Boys, one of my favorite bands ever, and I want to have them doing a beach concert right here. So maybe by the time we get to 70K followers and I do do this again, basically, maybe I'll have that set up and we can check that out. But this is the beach area. Of course, we've got Grandma catching some rays there. We've got the lifeguard walking along. We've got Grandma's clone reading the newspaper, because I have two of the same figure right there and there. Got a cool camper van with some beach stuff on it right here. And as we come over, we've got some people building a sandcastle, like a little boy and his brother. Got somebody ready to go on a kayaking trip as the pink parrot watches them. Behind the diner, we've got some skateboarders. And then we also have some of these guys. They're working on an evil robot that's going to take over the city. At least that's the narrative I came up with. Anyways, we've got some more people enjoying the beach. These people found C-3PO's head at the bottom of the ocean, those divers, and all in all, it's a really fun area over here. Now, for longtime viewers of the channel, you'll know that I've had this hot dog stand for a long time, but the thing I really wanted to point out is this right here, which is a little farmer's market I built. So we've got all kinds of fruits for sale and things like that and vegetables. So I just always like that, and I never want to tear it apart because I built this at a time when I really didn't have a lot of pieces to build with, so it just takes me back to a simpler time where I didn't have as much to build with, and I don't know, I don't want to leave that part out of my city because I love it so much. So let's take a look at this district right here. So this area is what I consider Main Street because, of course, we've got the shopping mall, we've got the bookstore, the barber shop, the detective's office, and the pool hall. We've got the garage with the vet's office up top. And then over here, if I bring the phone this way, we've got the downtown diner as well as the city hall. So I feel like that's a very Main Street view of things, and I really like that. Now, in a perfect world, I wish that I could see these buildings like the way I see these, if that makes sense. Like, I wish I could look at them from this angle, but unfortunately, that's just not possible. So let's take a look at the stuff closer up here. Of course, we've got the Grand Emporium, which is such a great set. You know, I've never really reviewed any of... I think I've reviewed 1 or 2 modulars, but for the most part, I just bought them and put them in my city, so... I just love that set. It's so cool. Of course, we've got the bookstore right there. Here, Spider-Man and Doc Ock are battling it out. Of course, check out what Spider-Man's standing on, too, the Mini Superheroes Today brick. And these construction workers are getting ready to help Spider-Man knock Doc Ock out of the air. So I always loved that in the Spider-Man movies when, you know, just the regular people help Spider-Man out. So I wanted to include that in my city. Of course, we've got the pool hall. We've got the corner garage there. And... lots of stuff going on down on the scene. We've got a guy busking on Sunset Boulevard like you'll see in LA. We've got Pepperoni and his friend skateboarding down the street. And yeah, it's really, really fun. And I love having all my Speed Champions cars on the street because all of these people know how to drive in style. On the opposite side of the street, we have the downtown diner with a banana guy singing out on the street trying to drum up some business. We've got a little wedding going on at the courthouse right here, which is quite cool. Then we have this little house, which came with the bookshop. So we've got that going there. We've got a little gas station, and I don't know why I'm filming like this. I guess it's the easiest way to do this, but we've got a little gas station I built there. Then we come around. We've got the Grand Emporium again. Then we've got the police station, which was a modular from 2020. And you see that there's a big empty plot right here, and that's because the boutique hotel is going to go there. It's a nice corner building. I actually just haven't even built it yet. I've had it for a whole year and just haven't built it. I guess I've been saving it for a rainy day, but I've been so busy this year, just keep forgetting to build it, I guess. So that's going to go there once it's built, and I'm sure there will be a modular in January this year, because there almost always is. And I'll have to figure out where that's going to go, you know, once we know what it is and where it's going to fit in. Because I try to keep things thematic, right? Especially over on that street, which we'll get to in a minute. But yeah, it's really fun. And the other joke I like to make is we've got the park over here. It's actually easier to see from the other side, but this little green plot of land right next to the police station will be the next to go probably. So when another modular comes out, probably going to have to put it there because just like a real city, I just keep chopping up the park when I need more space. So unfortunately, the park will have to get downsized, but for right now, it looks really cool, and we'll come back to that in just a minute. So we still have some empty construction going on over here. Not really sure what I want to do in this corner, but that's half the fun, right, is, you know, building it up later. We've got a small bank over here. We've got a hospital, which I built using 2 of the hospital set from a couple years ago. I always think it's fun to combine sets and build something bigger. Speaking of that, we've got this giant Avengers Tower. Now, there's only so much I can say about it here, but let me back up so you can see the whole thing in camera. Look how massive that is. So if you look from right here all the way up are 2 2020 Avengers Towers combined, and I built that. And then everything from here down, I actually bought from a fan a couple years ago. I bought his collection as he was moving out of Lego, and he built that as a mock. And man, is it incredible. I have a whole video on that on my channel, though, so I don't want to reiterate and, you know, go over things I've already gone over in another video. So go check out my giant Avengers Tower mock video if you want to see all the floors. But just for a quick overview, there's an arc reactor, there's the party room, there's the Iron Legion room. Next one down, we've got Tony's office, the Hall of Armor, and lots of cool stuff. So, you know, if you want to see all that, check out the full video on my channel. Okay, so we moved down our main street here, and I just have some random bricks there that need to be put here, but we've got Mr. Freeze attacking this blue vehicle here. And then we've got a little mini hotel, which is kind of funny because there's another hotel right there. We'll get to that in a bit, and then there's going to be another hotel back there. So I guess there's a lot of tourism in my Lego city. We've got some of the Creator 3-in-1 shops. There was a time when I was in college when this was really all I could afford and all I had space for. So I do like to leave some space in my city for these, just kind of as an homage to, you know, where my collection once was. Of course, we've got Iron Man sitting in the donut up there, which is pretty funny. And then because of the way the tables are sized, it was actually perfect that I was able to put this little mini park right here. It made more sense than putting more straight there. And, you know, like I said, with the park way back there, when I get more buildings, unfortunately, what just has to happen is the park has to go. So maybe some more Creator 3-in-1 buildings could go here. They're scaled pretty well, but we've got a little tree house here, got a little couple on a picnic, little city coffee there, and that kind of brings us to the main centerpiece of the city, which of course is the Ghostbusters Firehouse. Now, this deserves a review on its own. I can't believe I've actually never reviewed it on the channel, but it's a super, super cool build. It was my favorite set until this one came along, the Daily Bugle. That's my new all-time favorite LEGO set. But yeah, the Ghostbusters Firehouse is super cool. In fact, we actually have some cool features I can show you on it, so let me turn the lights off to show you that. Okay, so the lights are off, and I have this little stand built here that projects the bat signal on the wall. Basically, it just uses a little bat piece there and a light brick, and then we can summon Batman into the LEGO City. So this is what I've nicknamed Superhero Street, because pretty much all the buildings here have something to do with superheroes. We've got, you know, Agent Coulson's car right here facing down against the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. That's actually from the toy line Playmobil, but it fits really well scaled to Lego, so I got that on clearance at Walmart a couple years ago and couldn't help myself. I had to put it in the city. But of course, we've got the new Sanctum Sanctorum here. It's a corner building, so I thought it made sense there. And especially with my Marvel buildings, I want to be able to access them, right? Remember when I was over here and I said I want to be able to reach in and move stuff in the city? Well, especially with these two Marvel buildings, I wanted that to be true as well. So, you know, with the Daily Bugle, I can still reach forward and lift off the panels or whatever I need to do, but you know, if you want to see the reviews of these sets, I have dedicated reviews to those. So we're not going to get too much into that today, but we've got the Brick Bank over there. We've got Avengers Mansion right there. And then when we come around, you can see that we've got the cafe corner, the very first modular ever. Do yourselves a favor and look up how much this goes for. It's absolutely insane. I actually got it in a haul a couple years ago. I was digging through the bulk and I found all the pieces in the bottom. So it's mostly reassembled. It's missing a couple pieces. I'd say it's like 90% of the way there, but that's a cool one. Here we have the big 10th anniversary set, which is quite cool. And the only thing that's not cool about it is that it's sized a little weird. So it's the size of like a modular and then a half a modular. So it made this entire square of buildings be a little bit off, which is why I had to split up the bookstore and put, you know, those two buildings in separate areas. But it all worked out in the end. We have the Palace Cinema over there, and that kind of completes our center street there. Then, of course, we've got some vehicles on either side. Here we have, let me move the camera around. This is the actual Arkham Asylum set from 2013. And what I did with this is I built this little gate up front. Well, this is the gate from the set, but I like that it opens. And I used one of these vintage base plates here to have a little driveway into there. I've also got a little construction area here. You can see Sandman right there. And I haven't put too much effort into the construction area because basically when I get another corner modular, remember, the boutique hotel is going to go there. Whenever I get another corner building, it will eventually go here. But for now, it actually works pretty well to have, you know, kind of like a construction area that goes into Arkham. And then, of course, Arkham's right there. And as we turn the camera around, you can see the back of Arkham is really cool. I love this set, you know, with Harleen Quinzel's little examining room there and everything. Then I custom built this Avengers Mansion. Now, this is another one where I've already made a video on the channel going over this. So if you want to see all the interior stuff, there's a video on the channel that's dedicated to that. But there we go. Here's the view of the city from this side. It's quite cool to see. And then we move over and we've got the park in the back. Now, all we've done about the park so far, all we've talked about, is really how eventually someday it's all going to get pillaged for more you know, modulars as I get more. But for right now, it's a really cool park scene. I was thinking about actually integrating the farm sets all onto that base plate, but I actually don't have any of them yet. So maybe I'll pick those up if there's any Christmas sales coming up. But I thought that it'd be cool to have a farm. Otherwise, we've kind of got this little river that turns into a lake over here, and then the lake gets us into our theme park land. Now, it's very loosely based on Disney, only because of the, Disney train station and, of course, the train. But I did break some rules. Some of these base plates are not official Lego. There was a time when I was in college where, I was struggling a little bit, so I could only get what I could afford at that time, and it was these non-Lego ones, but I've since repented for my sins and I only buy Lego now. But I built it so that the train tracks are pretty sturdy. They're like stuck in between bricks here. And then, of course, if you have the app, you can make the train go on its own and it'll go all around. And I built it to go around the roller coaster. Now, I've got a review on the roller coaster too. If you want to see this, I have it there, but the roller coaster goes on its own and that's quite cool. Then I'm not quite done yet. The beautiful thing about the Lego City is it's always a work in progress. And, I'd almost hate for there to be a time when the city's done, because sometimes I just need to come down here and turn my mind off and, just build and turn my phone off and just, get away from everything. So it's nice to be able to do that. And, of course, there's some pieces strewn about because of that. But yeah, we've got the Ferris wheel here. This has been retired for many, many years. So I'm very, very excited to have that in the city. And that pretty much brings us to a conclusion. Now, you can see underneath the city, I store a lot of my larger or more collectible boxes. Got to make room where you can, right? But that's pretty much the whole city in a nutshell. So I'd love to hear what you guys think of the city. Let me know what your favorite part is. If there's any improvements you think I can make, of course, I'm always open to hearing those. But the beautiful thing about it, like I said, is just that I can come down here and work. Sometimes I just need to escape from everyday life, and this Lego City has definitely allowed me to do that over the years. So let me know what you think. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.
Well, you made it to the end of the video. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and maybe check out one of my other videos listed here.